Hello, all Toastmasters and distinguished guests. Welcome to Competitive Communicators, where you only compete with yourself. I am Sunny Fridge. I was going to say treasurer, but I am Sergeant at Arms, and it's a pleasure to be here Tuesday, October 22nd. I'd like to share a little bit of Zoom etiquette with you for a moment. If you look to the bottom left of the screen, if this is one of your first times joining in on a Zoom meeting, you will see the microphone icon. You can turn the microphone icon on and off, and basically you should keep your microphone muted unless you're speaking. Next is the start and stop video icon. Generally, we love to see your smiling face. However, if you have to take a bathroom break, answer an important phone call, or you're eating, please mute your video. But again, it does help with the participation when we see you. This is the participant information so that if you use the chat, you know who else is on. And speaking of chat, that's the little icon with where the blue arrow is. And basically you can use the drop-down icons to chat with everyone. Just find their names, or you can chat privately with someone. We use chat often to give prepared speaker feedback. And whenever a prepared speaker isn't chatting, we will add comments to the chat. And we have a chat monitor. You can also save the chat. And please know that when you save the chat, in case there's some important information you want to save, it saves as a text, but it does not save anyone else's private messages except for yours. Our policy: by participating in our Toastmasters meeting, you agree that a recording will be available publicly on our YouTube channel, Facebook, website, and other public media. Again, welcome to Competitive Communicators, where you only compete with yourself. At this time, I'd like to introduce our Toastmaster of the Day, Madam President, and probably quite a few other roles. Trisha Grow, welcome.
Thank you very much, Sunny. My name is Trisha Grow. I live near Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. We're going to take a moment or two here and go around our virtual room quickly and have everyone introduce yourself and share where you are in the world today. I will start with our Assistant Vice President of Membership, William. William, will you please take a moment and introduce yourself?
Yes, Madam President, fellow Toastmasters, future Toastmasters, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. My name is William Thomas. I am from Hollywood, Florida. As Trisha said, I am the Assistant Vice President of Membership. I am also co-founder and co-sponsor for this wonderful club. I'm glad to be with you tonight. Back to you, Madam Awesome, Madam President and Madam Area Director.
Thank you. Well, immediate past Area Director, not this year. And Sunny, would you please introduce yourself?
Yes. Hello, everyone. I am Sunny Fridge. I like to say I am a New York girl living in a Mississippi world. I've been a Toastmaster since 2015, recently got my Distinguished Toastmasters Award in July, and it's a pleasure to be here. I'm saying that today it's a little bit cloudy here in Mississippi, but I'm glad to be shining with all of you. Back to you, Madam President. And this is how we clap. This is how we clap, everybody.
It's been raining all day here in Pennsylvania as well. Mike Thorn, would you please take a moment and introduce yourself?
Mike Thorn, Wilmington, North Carolina, just an interested bystander.
All right, thank you very much. I see we have a few returning guests, the first of which I will call on Christian. Would you please take a moment and introduce yourself?
Hear me okay? All right. Hi, I'm Christian, just returning as a guest this time, here with Ken actually right next to him. And I'm excited to hear the speech, and I've been searching for a in-person Toastmasters group recently. I actually went to one today around lunchtime, and I'm very excited to continue with this group and see a little bit more of everybody's progressions.
Unmute, Tricia.
Unmute, Tricia.
I forgot to unmute myself. I was stating that I had saw that Harry mentioned in the chat that he has no sound or video, so I will not be calling on him, not because I don't want to know where, but Harry is from Las Vegas, Nevada. Our next person I would like to call upon is Mike Zong. Would you please take a moment and introduce yourself?
Thank you, Madam President. Hello, everybody. My name is Mike Zhong. I'm currently in China. I've been in Toastmasters for 5 years. And this is early morning in China, by the way, and I can see that the sun is rising. And this is always something that I'm looking forward to because I know that after every meeting with competitive communicators, I will have an awesome start of the day. Back to you, Madam President.
Thank you very much. Isabel, will you please take a moment and introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. I'm Isabel. I live in Ellicott City, Maryland. I'm the VP PR of this club, and I'm so glad to be here to meet our members and guests every week. Back to you, Madam President.
Thank you very much. And I know this lovely lady's face. I'm not sure how to pronounce her name. Is it Katia?
Sandra.
Cassandra?
Sandra.
Oh, just Sandra.
Yes.
Okay. Would you take a moment and introduce yourself, please?
Hi, my name is Sandra Paris, and I am here in Steinbach, Manitoba, Canada. Cheryl called me today and made sure that I was here because she could not be, so it's nice to be here again. I've been a Toastmaster for, I believe, 9 years now. I have attained 2 DTMs. I'm on my 3rd DTM, on my 3rd Pathways.
Wow, very, very proficient Toastmaster, indeed. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I see a guest, Jason Liu. Would you take a moment and introduce yourself?
Right now I'm in Forza, in South China. Also, good morning, everyone.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but we cannot. I hear noise, but I can't actually hear what you're saying.
My name is Jason. I'm in South China now. I have been doing Toastmaster for 4 years. I'm working on my first CTN. Glad to see you. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Jason. Welcome to our meeting, and hopefully you'll be joining us again in the future. I will now call upon Hariam. Hariam, would you take a moment and introduce yourself?
Sure. Thank you, Madam President. Hello, everybody. This is Hariam from Jersey City in New Jersey. And I just came back from my office, which is in New York, and it's been raining throughout the day. And it's been gloomy, but I kind of like it. So back to you, Madam President.
Thank you very much. Well, it's appropriate for fall, right? Get a lot of rain. Another returning guest who will be actually speaking tonight, I would like, Ken, would you please take a moment and introduce yourself?
Oh, my pleasure. It's great to be here again, see your smiling face. And I'm blown away how much experience is in this room, for lack of a better word. And I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to speak. The weather here, it's been, for Florida, for South Florida, it's been rough. A little bit of rain and humidity, but it's Florida. Yes.
Thank you very much. Next, we have our timer, Kim. Kim, would you please take a moment and introduce yourself?
Sure, I'd be happy to. My name is Kim Mitchell, and I live in Webb City, Missouri. And I joined this club because I really like to admit my time and everything, so I really enjoy it. Back to you.
Thank you very much. And the other Mitchell. would you take a moment and introduce yourself? We can't hear you, Chris.
He's working on it. It's working from his laptop today.
Okay.
Yes, good evening. I'm Chris Mitchell. Kim is the better half for the Mitchells. I'm working from a laptop tonight because a couple weeks ago I had a very serious fall, and I'm in the living room on a recliner in a very comfortable position here in Webb City, Missouri, where I just watched the sunset. Now I know where it went. It's in China now. Thank you, Mike. And my shirt, which you can kind of see, says "Pink gives me strength." I'm looking forward to tonight's meeting. Back to you.
Thank you very much. And our actual Vice President of Membership, Adrianne. Adrianne, would you take a moment and introduce yourself?
Hello, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. I am Adrianne. I'm coming to you live from California, where it is scorching hot. My goodness. Back to you, Madam President.
Thank you very much. I think some of us would like to be on your RV with you in California right now. And I see two more guests. Is it Shira?
It's Shreya.
Shreya?
Yeah.
Okay.
So hi everyone, my name is Shreya. I'm joining from Baltimore, Maryland. This is my first meeting in this club. Look forward to it. Yeah, that's it. Back to you.
All right, thank you very much. And Felix, would you like to take a moment and introduce yourself? Apparently Felix is not there. At this time, I would normally introduce the Toastmaster of the day, but it is I, so I'll just move on. In the Toastmaster meeting, for our guests this might be your first one, or at least your first online meeting, we follow the same program where we have 3 sections: prepared speakers, impromptu speaking, and then evaluation. Tonight we have 3 speeches, and I'm very excited to get with that. But before we get to that, I have to introduce, it's my pleasure to introduce some people who will be helping me run tonight's meeting. First, I will ask our inspiration, Chris Mitchell. Would you please share your bit of inspiration for this evening?
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, Madam Club President. And, oh good, I am unmuted. Okay, again, I'm on my laptop, so everything's weird to me tonight. I'm not gonna try to share my screen because I'm just lucky enough to be able to navigate it tonight. So let me hop over here and read to you my inspirational thought for today. Never be a prisoner of your past. If it's just a lesson, not a life sentence. And we don't know who said those words, but they're very true because we all have things that happen in our life, and for each of us, they're always bigger to us than those that witnessed it or even heard rumors about it. So let go of your past and move forward in your future. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much. My one moment. Please pardon me. I thought I had put my phone on mute, but apparently I'm not. It was singing in the background. If you heard a little noise, that was me. I see actually we're missing an A counter this evening. Would someone like to last minute jump in and be our A counter for this evening? Sunny? Would you please explain the role of an A counter?
Okay, you would ask me that, but I am going to be your Wizard of Oz tonight. I will count those Oz, those arms, those filler words, those double clutches, I, so, ah, and. So that is what I will do when called for my report. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, and thank you for jumping in last minute to help us fill that role. Next, we have a gentleman that is filling 3 roles for this evening. I'll first ask him as the grammarian to please explain those duties. William.
Madam President, yes, I am your grammarian tonight. And the job of the grammarian is to listen for the use of good English language and not so good English language, and to give a word of the day. Today's word will be gratitude, and I'll use it in a sentence. I have plenty of gratitude being here with my fellow Toastmasters and our guests. Gratitude. And I will record that and give my report either to Madam Toastmaster or our general evaluator, whichever is running the meeting at that time. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much. I have much gratitude for you for filling in this as well as the next 2 roles, which are both our body language and chat monitor. Would you please take a moment and explain both of those roles?
Yes, Madam President. As your body language monitor, I will watch for good body movement and flow of your body movement, and look for those gestures that signify good body movement, and also be looking for not so good body movement. Then I'll give you an example of not good body movement, which is hands behind your back, hands in your pocket. Your hands should always be at your side unless you are gesturing. Now, as your chat monitor, I will be looking for the juiciest, delicious chat that is discussed in our chat room, and give a report on both of those, again, either to our Madam Toastmaster or Madam General Evaluator or Mr. General Evaluator, whoever is running that particular segment, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, William. I do, again, have a huge amount of gratitude for you filling these roles. I have one last role to introduce. It's one of the most important roles, actually. It's our timer. Kim, would you please explain the timer roles and what timing implements you'll be using tonight?
Sure, I'd be more than happy to do that. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster and Madam President. So today, for the timing, basically what I'm going to do is time different people. So we're going to be timing the speeches. Just depending upon the speech will depend upon how long the speech is, but typically most speeches are somewhere between 5 and 7. So at the 5 mark, you will get a green card. At the halfway mark in between that, which typically is about 6 minutes, you'll get the yellow. And then at 7, you'll get the red. Now, if we're doing a 4 to 6 minute speech, then you would see your green card at 4, the yellow card at 5, and the red card at 6. So that takes care of the speeches. Now, also, we have our table topics. Now, the table topics, excuse me, I have a cold. So the table topics, the way that works is this, is you typically have a 1 to 2 minute speech. So at 1, you will see a green card. At 1:30, you will see a yellow card. And at 2, you will see a red card. Now, with our evaluators, you will see they have 2 to 3 minutes. So at 2 minutes, you will see a green card. At 2.5, you will see a yellow card. And at 3, you will see the red card. Now, after each one of these, you have 30 seconds to wrap it up, and so that we can stay on time and have a wonderful meeting. Back to you, Toastmaster, Madam Toastmaster and Madam President.
Thank you very much, Kim. I have gratitude to you for filling our timer role. We would not be able to have a meeting without a timer. Now we're going to move on shortly to our prepared speakers. But I would like, especially since we have a guest speaker tonight, to mention a tip. If you take your mouse cursor and hover over the portrait of Kim, you'll see 3 dots. And one of the options you'll have is to pin her so that while you're speaking, you'll be able to keep an eye on the time. Otherwise, it might be difficult to figure out where you are in your speech. Our first speaker is going to be giving their icebreaker, which is a 4 to 6 minute speech. This speaker is Hariam Tassat, and he will be speaking from the Pathways Innovative Planning Level 1, Mastering the Fundamentals. This is his icebreaker. Hariam's title is My Life So Far. Please help me welcome Hariam.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Trisha. So my full name is Hariom Tatsat. The meaning of my name is God is the only truth. Sounds like a heavy name. People in India especially, they think that I'm religious, pious, devotee kind of a person. But trust me, I'm exactly opposite. So my dear Toastmaster and guest, today in my first speech from the Innovative Planning Pathway, I'm going to talk about the journey of my life, the different phases of my life. So I was born in a small town in India, and I lived in different places in India. I went to Dubai, I've lived in San Francisco, I've lived in New York. So I have a good amount of experience throughout my life of different places and different people. And I divide my life into 3 phases. So going to the first phase, that is what I call as introvert and shy phase. So as the name suggests, it was my childhood time. I was introvert and shy. I used to like just 2 things. One was cricket, which is a sports very similar to baseball. Another one was studying. Yes, I was geek. And I remember the times when my family used to visit the relative's place or friend's place. All the kids used to be playing hide and seek and board games. And I used to sit in one of the corner reading all my study book and my story books. And that was pretty much my childhood. But trust me, I was the favorite son of my parents. I have another brother, but I'm the favorite one. The reason being, for Indian parents, the parameter is how much you can score in maths. And me, being the geeky guy, I used to score more in maths as compared to my brother. And that is why I was the favorite one. So that was the first phase. Moving on to the second phase, which I call as stud phase. And that is when I entered college. There were a lot of things which were hidden inside me because I was introvert. And those things started coming out when I went to the college. I started participating in sports, in dramatics, in choreography. I became the captain of the volleyball team of the college, head of the cultural festival of the college. And I was also doing very good in studies. I was department rank 2. There's only one thing I didn't do when I was in college, and that was getting a girlfriend. Because I was in an engineering college in India, the boys to girls ratio was like 100:1, and that part was sadly difficult. And that was my second phase, which I call a stud phase. Moving on to the next phase of my life, which I call as confused phase. That is when my work life started, when my professional life started. And I hate the person who has coined this term work-life balance. I don't know what does that mean. I'll tell you my journey. So first job, I just came out of the college. I had many friends. I had like close to 50 friends in my office. I also had a girlfriend. I hardly focused on my job. I hardly focused on my work. I was almost about to get fired. And in my mind, I started thinking that what is happening to my professional life? Where is my professional life going? And then I became serious. Let's change the job, move to another city, focused on the work. But in that city, I hardly had any friends or family members. I started getting bored. And then I started thinking, where is my personal life going? Then the cycle continued, moved to another city. Work was boring, personal life was good. I got married as well. But something was not clicking. Then I decided, let's take a giant leap. I decided to come to US. I decided to come for master's. After 7 years of experience, I did master's in UC Berkeley and joined a big investment bank in New York. Everything was good? No. Now, the thing is, on my professional front, I'm doing good, but on my personal front, I'm on a visa on which my wife can't work, so you can understand what is happening on my professional life front. So that's the journey so far. That has been up. There has been a lot of ups and downs, but throughout my life, whenever I'm confused, whenever I'm depressed, whenever I'm like down, what I do is I go back to the first phase when I was kind of introvert and shy. And I remember the time I used to sit next to my grandfather whenever I used to be sad and depressed, and I used to call him Dada. And I used to ask him, Dada, I'm not feeling well, things are not going right. And he used to tell me something that is, son, don't worry. Just work hard, be funny, and find your greatness. And that is what I have been trying to do so far in my life. That was pretty much it. Back to you, Madam President.
Thank you so much, Hariam. Now is our experience here in this club is that we take 1 minute of silence to give Hariam some feedback. So timer, would you please start 1 minute, and the rest of us, please take a moment and give Hariam some thoughts on his speech, some words of encouragement, something you really enjoyed, or something you think that he could do to make it better the next time.
That's 1 minute.
Thank you very much. We'll move on to our second speaker tonight, was Adrianne Pearson. She'll be speaking from an advanced manual from the Legacy program. This manual that she'll be speaking from is Persuasive Speaking, and she'll be doing the third project, which is the winning proposal. Her title, Proposal for Industrial Ergonomics Training. Adrianne has been a member of Toastmasters for 3 years now. She is currently pursuing her Advanced Communication Certificate. As a scientist and business owner, it is paramount for her to be able to communicate well, come across cross-functional teams, especially when the topic is more in-depth technical discussion. As a business owner, she must learn to get comfortable with promoting her business as well as herself. Adrianne will first do a 1 to 2 minute explanation of her project, of her proposal, to help us understand the context of her speech. And then she'll transition. Yes?
Oh, nothing. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. And then she'll be transitioning into her speech, which is 5 to 7 minutes. As I stated, her title is Proposal for Industrial Ergonomics Training. Please help me welcome Adrianne.
Thank you, Madam President. Fellow Toastmasters, I will be presenting to you from the standpoint of a business owner submitting a proposal to conduct industrial ergonomics training for your industrial hygienists. You are the business's decision makers who will decide whether you will reject or approve my proposal. In preparation of my proposal, you have already provided me with some background information regarding why you reached out to me to submit a proposal for training, as well as some other information pertinent to what your industrial hygienists do. In my speech, I hope to convince you to accept my proposal. We live in a time where our technology is growing exponentially, allowing for our knowledge to rapidly increase as a result of the vast amounts of data and information available to us at our fingertips. It does take a unique skill set to sift through the information, the data, and the regulatory standards, to then communicate it in such a manner that is more easily understood. Training employees is a major component to an organization's environmental health and safety programs. If the delivery is done right, then your industrial hygienist could use the training as a tool and then incorporate it into their own approaches when they're conducting their job tasks and responsibilities. For example, assessments and conducting inspections. Now, I understand that some of your industrial hygienists have had some recent injuries pertaining to ergonomics. And what we've often find is ergonomics is a culprit to many work-related injuries, but yet we think of it as it's such a complex topic, or even better, we think about it as it's only applicable to the office setting, which is not true. Ergonomics is a Greek word, and in fact, ergon means work, and onomos means law. So you put those together, and it's laws of work. It's also, to put it plainly, the study of people at work. So the concept of it is to match the job to the individual worker. But this is completely opposite of what we find in the workforce, where you hire an employee and then you put the employee to the job, not vice versa. Ergonomics is very important because it can be more costly. Injuries are costly. We can see in industries disappearing and having an achy workforce, well, it really does bring down employee morale. Ergonomics does not only affect the office working, it's everywhere. If anybody is working, whether you're in manufacturing or logistics or you're a truck driver, it affects any worker, as well as the business. How does it affect the business? Well, as I mentioned before, and you are currently experiencing injuries. Injuries are costly. In fact, in 2018, Liberty Mutual concluded that overexertion cost the American economy $13.7 billion. This means this accounts for about 23% of total injuries in the entire 2018. And overexertion is considered lifting or pushing, pulling, throwing objects. Yes, people do throw objects, believe it or not. Some other direct costs that are associated with ergonomics is your worker compensation payments, insurance costs can go up, and medical costs. Some indirect costs include employee absenteeism, employee morale and turnover, lost production, or even accident investigation and implementation of corrective action measures. So I propose that you arm your industrial hygienists with the knowledge that they need so that they can go out and work with your facility employees. I understand that your industrial hygienists are staff internal consultants, but they don't really have very much knowledge about ergonomics. So I propose to develop a training content and materials that are related and relevant to your industrial hygienist's job responsibilities. I propose to conduct a 2-hour training, 1 hour for lecture, 1 hour for a hands-on group exercise or activity. And I also propose to provide you with a report summary at the end. Some of the content that I suggest for your training would be to define what ergonomics is, discuss what the anatomy and physiology is, as well as signs and symptoms of common work-related injuries, regulatory requirements, ergonomics, your written program, your safety culture, some ergonomic solutions, so injury prevention techniques, some resources, and then finally, your hands-on group activity, which this will be an accumulation of videos, maybe do an assessment together as a group out on the floor, and use some hand and point dynamometers to help reinforce knowledge. Some of the benefits of my plan is equipping your employees with the knowledge that they need to take forth in their job. You will build their confidence, and you will also help them provide more knowledge to their own job as well. They can educate other employees, which provides better morale. By being proactive with your employees, you're demonstrating that you really do show an interest in reducing their risks to ergonomics, not only the industrial hygienists themselves, but also your facility workers out on the floor. It will also help reduce some of those indirect and direct costs that I explained earlier. Some of the downfalls of my plan is I'm proposing to do a one-day training course that does not account for measuring the effectiveness of training. Now, training should be an ongoing, more frequent thing, and I'm happy to propose to you at a later point in time how we can do more frequent training. But for now, I would ask that you approve my proposal. Your industrial hygienists will have great gratitude towards you by giving them the opportunity for training and to learn and grow themselves. Be part of the solution. Thank you. I look forward to hearing your response.
Thank you very much, Adrian. I can't figure out how to spotlight myself apparently. Let's all take a minute and show Adrian some gratitude on sharing this project with us, give her some insights on something that she did well, and maybe something you saw that she could do even better next time. Timer, please give me 1 minute.
That's 1 minute.
Thank you very much. And now we'll move on to our last speaker, prepared speaker for this evening. Our guest and hopefully soon to be member, Ken, will be speaking from the Competent Communicator, which was our program before Pathways. He will be doing the project 5, thank you. Notes, Your Body Speaks. And Ken's title for this evening is The Pig and I. Please help me welcome Ken.
I stood there. My girlfriend Michelle standing next to me. We're in the pet store, and there's a creature. I don't know what it is. It's this little black creature, and it's screaming. It's screaming so loud, it sounds like seized wheel bearing on an 82 Buick. It's hurting my ears. Michelle says, "What is it?" "I think it's a pot-bellied pig. It's so cute. How do you think it'll get?" "Well, the owner assured us it won't be over 35 pounds. "How much is it?" The owner said, $450. "Could I have it?" "Here's my credit card." I learned 2 things about Alex very quickly. Alex the pig. 1, Alex loved Michelle. Number 2, Alex hated me. Michelle lived in a cute apartment in her parents' garage. And Alex, very quickly within 6 months, to be 250 pounds. Michelle didn't believe we could handle it. But Michelle adored this so much that everybody in the family was trying to endure the pig. We would sit watching TV. I would be on one end of the pig's rear would be squinting with me and be over toward the side. Michelle would be under the sofa, lightly stroking the pig out. She looked down low at the pig. The pig would look adoringly at her. When it was time to bed, normally I slept at the bed. But that particular evening, Alex, I was staying up. We turned off the TV, and Alex ran into the bed, into my cot, with his hand on my pillow, and instantly within seconds, pretend that he was asleep. Alex, I still clothing he's asleep. Alex, he's getting at me for trying to my spot. Does he need to sleep at the bed? I drag him to the bed. He's up, trying to bite me. Michelle gets us quieted down. But something's right. Sleeping on a drool pig. There, silence is there with one eye open. You know when your breathing slows, you start to flow in beautiful dreamy space that is sleep. Just as I drift off, Alex is in the dark waiting. As I fall asleep, Alex jumps on top of me, starts hoofing me. Which breaks us up. The go flying, the goes flying, the clock goes flying. It's all quieted down. And this happens 4 or 5 times every evening. Until it wakes us up at 4 a.m. screaming at the top of us to be fed. Getting old. Honestly, as was Cato, Spectre Cluse. As soon as I would turn back on him, he would charge, knock over on my back, and start. We would rest on the floor, it would break us up. Not to be too much. Michelle had a litter box that was literally a kiddie's school. Big. At one point, he chased a house sitter, sitting 6'3", 300-pound boulder guy out of the house. The neighbors are looking at Caldwell saying, "No, you're loose, your house sitter prisoner." We couldn't anymore. Finally, Michelle's father, I found a solution for the pig. all set up for pigs. He's got panels, and he'll take the problem. He's a book. I could have that for the. I found a dentist in Massachusetts adopting these. Where the pig go? They separated from the first time. The pig's crying, Michelle crying, and Michelle looked at tears in her eyes, touched me on the shoulder, and said, "If I can't be the pig I love, I'll be the pig I'm with." I'm Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Ken. Well, I'll take a moment and give Ken some feedback, please. Timer, let me know when 1 minute has expired.
That's 1 minute.
Thank you very much. We'll now move on to the second portion of our meeting, which is table topics. This is where we take a moment and speak impromptu. We don't know the subject. We don't know what's going to be asked of us. This is actually a wonderful exercise to learn how to organize your thoughts in a very quick manner. And the person that will be leading this section is one of our newer members, Mike Thorn. Please help me welcome Mike.
Thank you, Madam President. I was busy today, but I took a few moments out to walk through the library. And as I did, I realized that there's some interesting titles on the bookcase, on the bookshelves, proving once again that you cannot tell the content of a book by looking at its title. So with that in mind, I will provide you with a book title, and I would like you to provide a synopsis of the book. I'll provide the title, you provide the synopsis of the book. Now that everybody has digested that with great gratitude, I'm sure. The first title I came up with was Flat Broke with Two Goats. Flat Broke with Two Goats. I think, Chris, you'd be the appropriate person to address this.
Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master. Slap Broke with Two Goats. It's the gratifying story of a family led by a man who was trying to provide for his family, who lost everything in a very bad business deal, where he got stuck with two goats. And these two goats had to provide everything for the family. First, the milk that the family drank until there was no more. And then that goat started to look like a McRib or a cheeseburger. And then they started seeing it as a basket of fries. And they started hallucinating over what this goat could taste like, until finally that day came where they could no longer sustain themselves on the weeds in the backyard. Not the kind you smoke, the kind you chew, or any of the plants, because everything was in winter. It had died. It was covered with snow. And they finally took that goat and they butchered it, and they decided to have a feast on a very ironic day. It was the fourth Thursday of November, and they called it their very special Thanksgiving. Back to you, Topics Master.
Thank you, Chris. This is a sad story. Let me brush away my tears. My second title that I came across was The Empty Frog. The Empty Frog. And coming from Manitoba, Sandra, I think you'd be appropriate to address this.
Mr. Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters, I do not like bugs or animals of any kind that do not stand up upright as we humans do, and more so those that are bent over on all fours. But this little green frog penetrated my armor of disdain when it comes to these animals and found a wee spot in my heart. You see, this frog was alone. It found itself alone because its family, its mama frog, papa frog, and its other brothers and sisters were all washed away in the recent rains that we've had here in Steinbach. It was hungry and lonely and appealed to my better self. And I was so grateful, I had so much gratitude that I was not in his position, that I took him under my wing and I gave him sustenance and someone to come croak to every single day. Mr. Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Sandra. At least you didn't eat them. Our third title, moving away from the animal kingdom, perhaps, is Fog of the Heart. Fog of the Heart. Shreya. Shreya? Shreya? Okay, we'll come back to that later. I have another one, also removed from the animal kingdom, Wild and Wicked. Wild and Wicked. And any one of you would be appropriate for this, but I think anyone wearing a hat should have the opportunity. Sonny? Yes, you're wild and wicked. I thought this would be easy for you.
Wild and wicked. Once upon a time, there was a little girl who lived in Queens. She had a little family, but they didn't like her. Once she understood that, she decided to move away and find her own family. She went to the Queens Zoo, and there she was able to be her authentic self. Little Sunny wanted to be the shining star that she knew she could become. And so she learned to do that when she was able to walk with the animals, talk with the animals. And she had such a good time that then she became wicked, but not in a bad way, just with a wicked sense of humor. And she enjoyed telling jokes to those animals because they laughed at everything that she said. So she was really in her element. The story didn't have a happy ending, however, because one day she was on a train, and when she got off the train, she fell. The end. Mr. Table Topics Master. I didn't know where I was going, but I'm on my way.
All right, I was lost also. Sharia, have you returned to our meeting?
Hi, yeah. I went to drink water.
All right, your
Did
topic,
I miss something? Yeah.
Sharia, is fog of the heart. Fog of the heart.
Fog,
Mist.
mist, and what's next?
A mist of the heart.
Mist of the heart. Heart, like heart or herd?
Heart, as in H-E-A-R-T.
Oh, okay. Table topics are hard. Mist of the heart. Do you have any other topic? I seriously can't think.
Would you like a second option?
Yeah, yeah.
Taste of heaven. A taste
of
of heaven.
Okay. So I'm really bad at it right now. I think I can like creating a story. It's very creative, and so Taste of Heaven. The story I can create right now is very short. Is There's a little girl who is walking down the street, and she sees a homeless man there who is hungry and who is hungry and asking the nearby passing by people to offer him some food, buy him something, and people are rejecting him and shooing him away as if and like not noticing him. That little girl gets very compassionate and tries to get food for him, but she doesn't have any money. So she goes to a nearby shop and asks the shopkeeper, "Can I have a donut?" And with her like cute puppy eyes, she kind of convinced the owner like to give her a free muffin, chocolate muffin, and she goes and offers that to the homeless person who tastes it and who is in total gratitude with that little girl to give him the muffin. And the way she and when she sees the homeless person enjoying the food, she kind of gets the taste of the heaven. She kind of gets compassionate. She's able to relate to it, and she for her that taste that feeling was like taste of heaven. I'm sorry, this is very bad, but this is what I could come up with.
Thank you, Shreya. Very well done. Nice recovery. Toastmaster, do we have time for another one?
No, I think that should be the last one. Thank you so much, Mike.
But I have so many more.
What's that? I know. Well, you use them again next month. Once you haven't done, you can sign up again for Topics Master next month, and let's get the rest of them.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I really enjoyed those synopses of those book titles that you saw in your local library. That was very creative. We will now move on to the last portion of our meeting, which is the evaluation section. And this section is going to be handled by our general evaluator. This evening, that will be Isabel Kadori. Please help me welcome Isabel.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the evaluation portion of the meeting. This is the most unique and important part of the meeting. Most people don't know how to give effective feedback outside of Toastmasters. I'm talking about the non-Toastmasters, because in Toastmasters, we're trained to give meaningful evaluation. But outside we oftentimes just get whitewash type of reviews. They sound good, but not so helpful. Toastmaster is a supportive environment. We train ourselves to use active listening skills and provide objective and constructive feedback. In that way, we foster growth. We will start the evaluation for prepared speeches. Each evaluation is going to be 2 to 3 minutes. Our first evaluator is Mike Thorn. He will be evaluating Harriet's speech. Please help me, Toastmaster Mike Thorn.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Ariam, it is a tremendous amount of gratitude I'm here to evaluate you. Coming from New Jersey, I didn't know quite what to expect because I live in a world of New Jerseyites, and they're different kind of people. However, I found immediately I was engaged with the title of your speech and the meaning of your name. I thought that was a superb way to introduce it. You asked me to evaluate your vocal variety, your pacing, and your content. All three were outstanding. All three were superb. I have nothing to say about that other than they were great. You had a clear voice, very well articulated. What I really liked, though, was the organization of your speech. It was in 3 clear phases. The introvert, which ended up being the favorite son, the star, which represented your personal growth, and then the confused, which resulted in a work-life balance. The thing I also enjoyed immensely was that your body language was a little bit limited in that you're sitting reasonably close to the camera, so you can't show too much in terms of the body language. But what you did do is you had a tremendous smile. And you use your eyebrows. I found that interesting. Your eyebrows would go up and down as you were making various points, and there's that smile again. For your next presentation, this is just a suggestion, but you might consider adding PowerPoint. If you do add PowerPoint, don't use words, use pictures or schematics or diagrams. And also, I thought your conclusion just sort of tailed off at the very end. I thought maybe you could have had a greater pow. This is based upon what I've had so far. This is my future direction, my future plans, and this is what I plan to be in future years. Overall, I thought you had a great disclosure of your personal background. You hit the purpose of an icebreaker to a T, and I quite frankly look forward to your future speeches. Very well done, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Mike. I really enjoyed your evaluation. You had great suggestions. Our next evaluator is one of our new member, Mike Thorn. Mike will be evaluating Adrianne's speech. Please help me welcome Mike to the stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters and guests, Adrianne, winning proposal regarding the industrial ergonomics. I'm going to evaluate your speech according to the evaluation form. First objective, I think your object is very clear. You want us, the business owners, to develop a one-day training program to increase the effectiveness of people on their job and reduce work-related injuries and so on. And this is very clear. Then when I think in terms of the details, sometimes I get confused because later you said you also want to offer a 2-hour training. The first hour is about lecture, the second hour is about group exercise. And then I get confused, how does the 2-hour training related to your one-day training overall program? The next proposed is the speech directly related to our intended audience? Yes, very relevant to us because at the very beginning you stated very clearly that we're business owners and we're definitely interested in the industrial ergonomics. Then moving on next, regarding the different aspects of the proposal, the positive aspects of the proposal, you stated it can increase the knowledge, increase the confidence of the employees, and the employees can educate other people, and that will reduce cost. Very well done, and that's persuasive. In terms of the negative aspects of the proposal, you said it's only a one-day training, so the effectiveness might not be seen immediately. So you would like to propose to have more frequent training at future dates. So also very, very nicely done. In terms of the proposal, I think there's one more aspect that you could have mentioned. For example, the cost of the program. So how does it, related to the company's budget and so on? So for example, you can say that our cost to offer that program is very cost effective, or you can say that we offer, the price is competitive compared to other similar programs, and you provide more details if you're really making that proposal. I think that would be more persuasive. Next is the organization logical. I think yes. So you started by talking about the general situations of the people on their job, and then you move on and define the ergonomics, and then move on to a proposal, and that flows very logically. And I would like to challenge you maybe to think about how to change your opening so that you can catch the audience attention right at the beginning. So I noticed that you had a little statistics somewhere in your proposal. I don't have the full statistics, but here's something that I think might work for you. So for example, you can start the speech like, how many of you know that in 2018, 23% of the work-related or injuries can be accounted by this and that. So if you give us the statistic and surprise us right at the beginning, and that would catch our attention. The last, in terms of the delivery, I really love your body language when you were talking about the throw objects, that relates to the work-related injuries. And I would like to challenge you to not use the word maybe in your proposal, because when you quite a few times you use the word maybe not, that's not intentional, but if you use the word maybe, and if you are not sure, then we as the audience, we're not sure. So overall, that's a very persuasive proposal, and I'm looking forward to your next speech. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Mike, for your excellent evaluation. I was so impressed with your very thorough and detailed feedback. You are truly a very active. It really demonstrates your active listening skills. Next, I would like to call our third evaluator. Our third evaluator is President Tricia Grow. She will be evaluating Ken's speech. Please help me welcome Tricia.
Thank you very much, Isabel. First, Ken, I just want to give you kudos for showing up and being prepared with a speech. I know some other people mentioned, and I am mentioning as well, is that there's something with your internet connection. It was very difficult to follow your story because it garbled what little bit of story we could hear, and it was very choppy. But even with all that, I can tell that you are an excellent storyteller. Your facial expressions, your vocal variety, even though I couldn't really hear the continuous story, I would have loved, and I invite you back to tell the story. So some of my suggestions are actually dealing with your internet issues, since we weren't really able to hear your story. So some thoughts I had is perhaps try a different area of your home, get a Wi-Fi backup or booster, or even try using your phone as a backup. Your lighting was excellent, awesome lighting, and as I said before, I could see your facial expressions. I could tell you were a storyteller. I wanted so badly to hear the story of this pig. I just couldn't understand it because of your internet connection. So I do invite you back to tell us again the story of this pig and your girlfriend, wife, I couldn't really understand the relationship, but I could tell that it was an excellent story, even though I couldn't really understand it. And I invite you back to tell it again. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Tricia. I thought that would be a very difficult evaluation because the connection quality, but Tricia, you just demonstrated that to us. How can we give a meaningful and encouraging evaluation, even though it was a difficult job. Now I would like to call a team of helpers for other part of the meeting evaluation. First, I would like to call our counter. Is our counter Dr. Sunny Fridge?
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. I am the counter. Here is my report. Hariam Tatsat had about 3 so's and 1 like. Adrianne Pearson had 2 so's and 3 ands. However, I will say that at times, so and an can be appropriate. I just want to make note that you had several. Mike Thorn, let's see. And after that, I really didn't have too many people with Oz. I was trying to listen, but once Mr. Table Topics called on me, I totally got distracted. So now I'm wild and wicked and ready with gratitude to say back to you, Madam Table Topics Master, or rather, Madam General Evaluator. I don't have any more ahs and ums.
Thank you. That was an excellent report. Now I would like to call our body language model and chat model and grammarian. Toastmaster William, please give us your report, your triple reports.
Yes, Madam General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters and future Toastmasters. My report, wow. Everyone had great lab. Everyone, I'll give my grammarian report first. As the grammarian, everybody had great command of the English language. I could not find anything wrong there. We had, for word of the day, Tricia twice, Michael once, Chris once, Sandra once, Sunny once, and I'm not sure how to pronounce this person, S-H-R-I-T-Y. She had said it once, and that's my report for the grammarian. But I will say this, if we had a grammarian award, I would give it to Sandra. And the reason I would give it to Sandra, in her table topics, she talked very poetically. And she said a word, penetration or somewhat like that, she said. And I found it very interesting and very thought-provoking. That's my grammarian report. For my body language report, we only had one person who had bad body language, and that was myself. I kept coming close to my camera. I don't know why I do that. It's just a personal thing with me. I like doing that. I'll have to work on that. That's the only thing for body language report. For chat monitor, wow, we had some very interesting chat. One person said, wow, Michael Thorn gave an awesome evaluation. So that is my reports today, Madam General Evaluator. Madam General Evaluator, I return the floor to you.
Thank you. Thank you for your report, and thank you for taking triple duty. Now I would like to call our timekeeper. A timekeeper is Kimberly. Please help me welcome Kimberly.
All right. Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. So we did pretty good on time today. We only had one person who went over, but that's quite all right. We did just fine. So when I take a look at the speeches that were given, Hariam, your speech was 5 minutes and 7 seconds. And Adrian, you had a 1 minute intro, so that's good. And then your speech was 6 minutes and 30 seconds. And Ken, you had a 6 minute and 4 second speech. Our table topics, we did very well on that. Chris, your table topic was 1 minute 30, exactly, like halfway through. Amazing. And then Sandra, yours was 1 minute and 33 seconds. Sunny, you were at 1:25. And Sheree, you were at 1:46. Our evaluators, Mike, yours was at 2 minutes and 18 seconds. And Mike Zong, you went 3 minutes and 55 seconds. Trisha, you went 1 minute and 59 seconds. So that is our timing for today. We only had, like I said, one person that really went over, and we did a great job. And kudos to everybody. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Madam Timer. That was excellent timing report. And as you mentioned, today our meeting is perfectly on time. We started exactly at 7:45, and at the time of the time report, we're exactly the same time as our meeting agenda. So that's an excellent job and for everyone. I would like to give a little suggestion for improvement. It's actually for our website, because our website shows our meeting end time to be 2 o'clock and 7 minutes in the afternoon. So actually that's quite puzzling. How would our meeting start at 7 and ends at 2? So maybe that's something to look into it. And also, I would like to make a small suggestion for our third speaker, Ken. I think most likely it's a bandwidth issue that your voice was disrupted, and same goes with your video. When that happens, it's probably would be a good idea to try to stop the video, so that will dramatically reduce the bandwidth requirement. So at least in that way, at least we can hear your speech properly, even though we were missing your face. That's just a suggestion. Overall, it's a great meeting. Now I would like to turn the meeting back to our Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Isabel. I will ask our Sergeant at Arms to issue our poll. You'll take a moment and please vote on how you thought tonight's meeting went. Your favorite prepared speaker, table topic speaker, evaluator, and the best facilitator of tonight's meeting. All right, while we're finishing that up, I would like to call on some of our guests and ask you to share what your favorite part of tonight's meeting was. Sandra, it was nice to see you back. I was up north, not near where you live, but in Canada 2 weekends ago, and I felt closer to you then. There you go.
It was great to be back. Thank you once again. I was almost here the last meeting, but I did get an email from Adrianne, and then I couldn't find it. So I couldn't get into the meeting last week. So Cheryl made a point of making sure that she sent it to me earlier today. So I was really happy to be here. Again, it was another awesome meeting. It's great to be here. So even though I'm still very new and very strange to the online type of meeting and still getting myself like familiar with it, but so far it's been great, and I really want to do it again, and hopefully become one of you.
Yay. Well, we'd love to have you. And you're always welcome back as a guest, though. And is Sharia?
Yeah, Shreya. Yeah. I think it was a great meeting. Really enjoyed. The table topic really got me, and but there were really, really interesting topics that were discussed. Really good speeches, and definitely I would love to get back here next week. And yeah.
Thank you. We'd love to have you back again. Ken, what was your favorite part of tonight's meeting?
I actually, the meeting's always outstanding. The experience in here, I learned something. Christian was participating in the meeting on my internet, so I double bandwidth. So yeah, there goes expert. Learned something very valuable. That.
Thank you, and I sincerely do invite you back to try it again in the future.
Okay.
Just give us a heads up, and we can actually put you on the agenda as a guest speaker. I think that our poll is ready, so I'll turn the meeting back over to our Sergeant at Arms to share the results.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, Madam President. How did you enjoy today's meeting? 89% said it was awesome. Actually, 9 people voted. Trisha and I don't have a vote because we are co-hosts, but 8 people said it was awesome, and 1 person said, despite technology issues, good meeting. The best speaker of the evening, Adrianne Pearson. Please, Adrianne, come and speak.
Oh, fellow Toastmasters, thank you so much. It is very helpful to be able to put my work into my Toastmasters. Part of the reason why I joined Toastmasters. And regardless of Mike being over time, really, it's such a helpful evaluation to be that in depth. And it's such a fine balance between how quickly do you want to have your response and your evaluation and how in depth you want to be. So I really give kudos to Mike. Thank you again. And everyone, I couldn't have done it without you. All of you guys provided such great information to me and great feedback to me for helping me improve on my next speech. I look forward to being with you again. Back to you, Sunny.
All right, thank you very much. Next up, let me move this from here. Best evaluator was Mike Thorn, evaluating Harry and Tatsat. Speech, please, Mike Thorn. Unmute. Unmute, Mike. There
we go. Okay. As I was about to say, it was such an easy evaluation to make because Ariam's presentation just fell in place. I had no difficulty finding notes to give, and I enjoyed it immensely. Thank you very much. I'll see you next week.
All right. Thank you very much, Mike Thorn. Best facilitator. It's covering. Okay, here we go. Best facilitator. And the winner is Mike Thorn, Table Topics Master. Back to back.
What can I say? I had spent so much time in the library. I had so many more books. I'm bitterly disappointed I couldn't give more of them for your consideration. However, there's always other meetings. Madam Person.
Thank you. Sergeant at Arms will do. All right, and thank you very much, everyone, for taking part in the poll. I know sometimes there were a couple of us who may not have been able to have taken part. Hopefully we'll figure out the reason why. Back to you, Madam President. Good participation.
Thank you. Yes, I hope that everyone did enjoy the, well, obviously we did enjoy the meeting, and we had 3 amazing speakers. Even though we had some internet issues, I look forward to hearing Ken's speech in the future because I could tell it was an awesome story. We'll ask the Sergeant at Arms to stop recording. It will be the end of our meeting. But you're all invited to stay and chat if anyone has